Hi there, and welcome back to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial, where I'm going to be teaching you, yes you, Algebra 1. And in this video, we're going to continue on with our exponent rules, and then we'll get into a little bit of scientific notation near the end of this lesson. But for now, let's look at exercise number 3, where it asks us to simplify each of the following using the power of a power property. So again, we had a table up at the top of this sheet when we began, and our next property is going to be the power of a power property. If we're taking a look at the general rule over here, so we have a power raised to another exponent. And when you have a power of a power, so an exponent raised to another exponent, you take those two exponents and you multiply them together. So again, if we see anything that looks like this, a power raised to another power, then we're going to have to multiply the exponents. So let's take a look at what it's asking us to do in exercise number 3. And that says x to the 2 times, not times, but x to the second to the 5th power. So our rule says to multiply those together, but just like we've done in the first part of all the other exercises, let's see why that's the case. So x to the second to the 5th is really x to the second times 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 x to the second. It's x to the second 5 times. And now this could have the product property applied to it, because now we have all the same bases being multiplied by each other. And what our product property says to do is keep the base of x and add the exponents, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which would give you 10. If you really wanted to, you could separate each of these x squareds as x times x, times x times x, times x times x, times x times x, times x times x. And believe it or not, you'd be left with x to the 10th. So there's many, many ways to do this. You could expand it and then use your product property. You can expand it even further and count how many x's you have. Or you could just use the power of a power rule, which says that when you have exponents looking like this, keep that base and multiply the exponents. So now we have x to the 8th to the 3rd power. And that's going to be using our power of a power rule, because one is raised to the other, and that's going to be x to the 8 times 3, which is 24. In part C, we have x to the 4th to the 2nd, and that's going to give us x to the 8th power, because 4 times 2 is 8. And now we actually have a power of a power of a power property. But that's not going to change what we do here. We're going to take the x, and then we're going to multiply 3 times 5. And 3 times 3 will give us 9, and 9 times 5 will give us 45. So x to the 3rd to the 3rd to the 5th is actually x to the 45th power. And if this video was helpful in understanding what the power of a power property rule is, please give this video a thumbs up, and you're now ready to go on to exercise number 4. Thank you for watching.